In today's video, I'll be showing you how to build this super fast automatic mechanical belt farm using the Create mod that uses no brass and is super quick to build. So without further ado, let's get to building. For this build, we'll need a 21 by 22 block foundation, and these are the items we'll need to build this farm. So we'll start by going to the shorter side, which is 21 blocks long, and then from the middle here we'll go forward 10 blocks, and we'll break that 10th block. Then we can go dig down these 3 blocks, place a bucket of water in that corner, and then place a water wheel here so it starts spinning. Then we'll place a shaft here and a mechanical bearing on top. Then from this mechanical bearing, we'll go back over to this side and we'll place any block you want here. I'll just use framed glass so you can see inside, and then 3 more blocks on either side of that one we just placed. Then from here, we'll place 2 blocks. We'll place 3 more diagonally as well as 2 more like this. Then 7 left from here. And we'll continue doing this 7, 2, 3, 2, 7 until we make a circle all the way around this mechanical bearing. Then we'll need to build this entire circle up another block. And you may also need to place a block so you can get in and out, since this is 2 blocks tall and you can't jump over it. Now, from this mechanical bearing, we can place 10 blocks out to any side. Then you'll want to make sure that whichever way your water wheel is spinning, you'll have your mechanical harvesters on the side that it's spinning towards, so that whenever these harvesters harvest the kelp, they will not be spinning backwards, because that would make them do nothing. Then we can place a double chest up here, as well as a portable storage interface facing outwards. Then we can super glue this chest to this block, and from this block over to this one, and then super glue this block to the portable storage interface. And it's also good to know that if you have mechanical harvesters on a block that is super glued to the rest of the contraption, you don't actually have to apply super glue to the mechanical harvesters. Since if we turn this on, the mechanical harvesters will just go with that block that is already connected. And we'll want to spin this mechanical bearing so it stops on this side with this 1 block area out here. Then we can place a block in front of this interface and place another interface facing into this block. Then we can remove that block. And now whenever this whole contraption swings around, it will connect with this portable storage interface to let out any items that it has. And the next step is to fill in this entire enclosure here with water. And to make that easier, you may want to fill in the floor with a block that you can break easily, and then place the water on top of that, and then let it flow down. And now that we have all those blocks placed, we can begin covering this entire area with water. And then once we've done that, we can go ahead and start breaking out all of these blocks. Now that we have this whole area filled in, we can go ahead and start working on the processes to turn the kelp into mechanical belts. And to do that, we can place a chute here, and this will drop the kelp in the way of an encased fan with a campfire in front of it. And what this will do is it will cook that kelp into dried kelp, which we can then go ahead and turn into mechanical belts. And to power this fan, we'll break out these 2 blocks, place a bucket of water here, and either a panel or a block just to block this water from flowing too far. But then we can go ahead and place our water wheel here, and you may see that it spins backwards, and if it does that, all you need to do is switch the position of the water bucket, and then it should start flowing the correct direction. And we can tell that the fan is spinning correctly because we have these smoke particles coming out. And next we'll go ahead and place down a double chest here with an input andesite funnel. And this encased fan will not only cook those kelp into dried kelp, but it will also move the items slowly along so they can be input into this funnel. And if you wanted, you could put a vault, just do whatever works best for you. And next we'll need to place down 4 copycat panels like this, and this will keep water from flowing out since we're going to place a funnel here to output the items, as well as a crafter here, well, not like that, but like this, with an input andesite funnel. And the reason we're using a crafter here and not a mechanical crafter from the create mod is because that requires brass, and also making a mechanical belt is super simple to make a crafter do, and all we need to do is disable these bottom 3 slots by clicking on them. And if you don't disable these slots, that means dried kelp could get in there before the crafter crafts a belt, which would mean that it would actually start trying to make a dried kelp block, which is not what we want. And once we've done that, we'll need to make a simple redstone clock so this crafter will know to craft the item after it has all the ingredients in its inventory. And to do that, we'll place down a target block here with 2 redstone repeaters like this, and we can set these to 4 tick delay on each of them, and then 3 redstone dust like this. And if you know of an easier or smaller way to make a clock that has the same effectiveness as this one, you can go ahead and use that. But this one is simple enough to fit into the space that I need, so I'll just use this one for now. And then to bring the items into this crafter from this chest, we'll waterlog this andesite funnel. So the items will go out of this funnel and flow down the water until they go into this funnel. And we'll also want to place a lever here so that we can turn this clock on and off whenever we need to. Then you can either place a chest in front of this crafter, or if you have your own storage mod, you can place something to store in front of the crafter. Since whenever the crafter crafts an item, it will either spit it out of its front face here onto the ground, or if there is a storage in front of it, it will just input the item into that storage instead. But for this build, I'll just put down a 3x3x2 item vault, since this can store a lot of items, and we will be making a lot of mechanical belts. But then, since you can't easily access the items from this vault, I'll place down a chest here with an output andesite funnel from the vault and a chute to let the items into the chest. And now all that's left to do is not get burnt by that campfire, but rather go plant all of the kelp so that it can start growing. And if you aren't able to plant kelp underneath where your contraption is, then if you place a kelp to either side of that, then you should be able to place a kelp in the middle. And once you have finished planting down all of your kelp, you can go ahead and right click this mechanical bearing with an empty hand, and it should start harvesting all that kelp. And while this is spinning, it shouldn't ever have any problems with the amount of items it's trying to smoke at once. But if you had a bunch of kelp grow while you were planting it, you may want to take out all that kelp and just do something else with it, because if you have kelp go into this system, it will let this crafter get clogged up, and that's not good because there's no way for it to output the kelp. So just know that if you had a bunch of kelp while you were placing it all down, you may want to just take that out. That way it doesn't overflow the system with too much. But other than that, this system should be working, and we can see that this kelp is being smoked into dried kelp, where it goes into this chest. And we can watch this next kelp go in, and then it goes into this crafter where it should be making belts. But I forgot to say that you have to quickly flip this lever on and off like this to get this whole redstone clock started. And then it'll start crafting up a bunch of mechanical belts. And we should be able to see them go out of this funnel into this chute and into this chest. And there it goes. And we already have 10 mechanical belts in this chest, which should tell you that this whole farm is pretty fast. This is the finished build. Don't forget to leave a comment down below with what you'd like to see in the next video. And while you're down there, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button. Become a member if you want to help support the channel even more. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.